Welcome back to my channel for this week's Human Design Transit Report. Today is Monday, March 20th, 2023, and happy Ostara! Tomorrow is the spring equinox, and Ostara is the goddess who presides over the spring equinox in the Celtic traditions, pre-Christian, and her name was also Astarte and Oester, and the early Christians took her name and turned it into Easter. So Easter is connected to the spring equinox. It's actually a lunar holiday. Easter is always the first Sunday after the full moon after the spring equinox. I took the name of Ostara because my birthday is coming up. I am a spring baby and I love this time of year. So I'm super excited to get to share it with you. And I'll be letting you know towards the end of this video about something special that is available to you for this week. And so make sure to stay tuned for that. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. The new transit starts on Saturday, March 25th, and it's a big shift in energy. But the energy right now and for the equinox is super sweet and potent. And if you didn't get a chance to see my special report that came out last Thursday, you can go and watch it right here because this is the energy that we're going to be in all the way through Friday of this week. And then we're going to have a shift in energy. So we're going to go from the focus on love and the G center into the logic circuit. So the sun is going to move into the gate 17 and the earth is going to move into the gate 18th. So let me talk just a little bit about the logic or the pattern circuit in quantum human design. So this is left brain energy. Comes in through the left brain, crosses over, comes down around the right side of the body and up through the central channel. And the sensing circuit is its match on the right side, crosses over left side of the body and up through the central channel. So we have both right brain energy and left brain energy mapped out in the human design system. And the logic circuit is left brain energy. It tends to be more analytical, more strategic, more linear in its thinking, kind of focal in its gaze, right? It's kind of like this, right? It goes penetrating and it's deep, whereas right brain energy is more expansive and more wide. This is a time where you can get more focused, and it's going to be important for you to understand what these energies are. Because here's the thing. The logic circuit energies, not all of them, but they can be a little intense. And particularly if we are embodying and expressing either the disempowered aspect of that energy or more likely the shadow aspect. So as a reminder, the shadow aspect is when we embody and express that energy with the desire to control or manipulate a situation, usually in order to feel safe. And then the disempowered is when we're either rejecting it or we feel like we're at the mercy of it. Whereas the awakened or the empowered expression of it is when we're on top of it and we're utilizing that energy really for, one's own highest good, but also the highest good of all. And because the logic circuit is a collective circuitry, okay, it's collective, which means it's about global things, big things, institutions, infrastructure, organizations, government, corporations, kind of big organized bodies, if you will. And so it is important for us, I believe, that whenever we're really transiting with collective energy, that we want to be focusing on what's really best for everyone. Right? Not just for me, not just for my family, not just for my close community, but what's really the best for everyone. So that's kind of our challenge when we are in collective circuitry, is to ask ourselves those things, because a lot of times things feel really personal, they feel really close in. And there may be an aspect of that is true, but it's not the primary mode for it. So let's look at the gate 18, which is what the earth is lighting up. So the gate 18 is on the spleen center. The spleen center is a center for instinct and intuition, right timing, and the immune system. And I will remind you, if you know already, that all of the different gates on the spleen center are known as fear gates. And they're known as fear gates because it is an instinctual center. So it's usually more disempowered, but sometimes also the shadow expression, the different gates of the spleen can be kind of more based in fear. So the fear of the 18 is the fear of getting it wrong. Why is that? Well, in traditional human design, the 18 is the gate of correction. And in quantum human design is the gate of realignment. So the idea here is this is an energy for like details. Okay. It's good for budgets. It's good for spreadsheets. It's good for copy editing. It's good for like looking over a web page and making sure that everything works and everything fits and there's no, widows, there's no things that are out of place, right? It's that kind of energy. And it's, shadow expression is kind of like, when you had one of those teachers, this probably doesn't happen in school anymore. I don't know. Things are so digital now, but like, do you ever get a paperback and it was all written over with red ink, right? So that's kind of the shadow expression of the 18. And it's disempowered is that fear of getting it wrong. Right. But the awakened is where you're really realigning things. And I see this in some of my best friends who have this lit up in their chart. I don't have it. But I see it lit up and they love order. They like it when all their numbers add up. They like it when all the, the proverbial puzzle pieces come together. And that can be, something that's either an actual puzzle. Like I have a friend who does this. She loves crossword puzzles. She does crossword puzzles every morning, right? So that's kind of that energy of the 18. And it has a wonderful role. Like if you're going to hire an editor for you, like I have an editor for my book, having the gate 18, it's an awesome thing to have. So it's not that it has to be a negative energy, but unfortunately, so many of us have kind of been conditioned into correcting other people, right? You got that wrong. You don't understand. That's not accurate. Where did you get that from? Show it to me. Prove it to me, right? Because it's logic circuit, right? It's like that kind of, you want to watch out for that because whether you have it or other people start to channel that during this transit that starts on Saturday, you just want to be alerted. And anytime that you start to feel it in yourself or you feel it from other people, you can go, okay, what needs to be brought into order here? What needs to be realigned? Where are things kind of out of place, right? And sometimes this is a negotiation, like if you're in a conversation and people have very different remembrances of an event that you were at or a situation that happened or a conversation that you happened, right? You have to have some breathe some energy into that so that you don't get into a fight where you're fighting about who's right, because the 18 can get into that need to be right. So you want to be able to step out of that and just go, okay, what needs to be brought into alignment? What hasn't been paid attention to? What needs to bring into the mix so that things can come back into alignment? So the earth is lighting this up. So it is tax season. So if you haven't done your accounting yet, this is a great thing to be doing with this kind of energy. It's just getting everything in order, getting all of the different things that you need, getting all the documents, putting them in the programs that you use or however you do it. It's a really good time to be doing that. So the sun is going to move into the gate 17. And in traditional human design, the 17 is the gate of opinions. And in quantum human design, it is the gate of anticipation. It's on the Ajna center. And so it is, kind of a little bit more of the thinking mind kind of energy. And I do have this defined in my chart, so I know it pretty well. And the thing to understand about opinions, it's not that opinions are inherently wrong. I mean, if you're foisting your opinions on other people or other people foisting their opinions on you and you didn't ask for it and it's not the right time, that can be super annoying, right? But if you have a handle on this energy and you're like, yeah, I do have opinions and I tune into when is the right time to share it, who are the right people to share it with, is this the right situation, right? Then your opinions can be welcome. I always like to preface my opinions when I know it's like, oh gosh, I got something. As I call it my BFO, which is my big fat opinion. And so I'll say, here's my BFO, or would you like to hear my BFO? Because asking permission and getting people to recognize and agree really helps if you have an opinion to share. But like reading op-eds, right, opinion pieces in the media, it can be very interesting. Like you get people's opinions. And so I don't have a thing against opinions. I just don't like them foisted at the wrong time with the wrong people in the wrong situation, right? So don't do that. Like just be aware. The more awakened and empowered expression of the 17 is really when we use the power of our mind. Like I said, it's in the ajna, so this is kind of our thinking mind. And we use the power of our mind, not to settle into opinions that we then foist on other people, right? But then to be open up to new possibilities that are coming in from that beginning of that logic circuit, right? And it's just coming right over and wants to, come out through that 17. Is like, how can we focus on things that we haven't focused on before? How can we break out of our conditioned ways of thinking about things? How can we, unravel the programming that we've had so that the power of our thinking mind, I mean, it's pretty amazing, the kind of, beyond a supercomputer that we have here. How can we utilize that to really help us move into this new world that we are wanting and desiring and we so desperately need? And in order for that to happen, we have to think different. Right? We can't go on doing things the way that we've been doing them. We can't just dig in our heels with our opinions about how things are. We have to be a little more open and to be willing to be receiving guidance from non-physical about how things could be different. And so we want to use the energy of that 17. We want to anticipate, if you will, what could come to us and what we could express. We want to anticipate having opinions that are really at another level. We want them to be for the highest good of all of humanity. We want them to be opening up horizons of possibility for a more equitable, a more regenerative, a more just, a more kind, and a more compassionate world, right? Those are the things that we want. So we can do that when we're grounding ourselves in this sense of we're aligning order. We're making sure that things are in their correct place. We're making sure that the patterns are actually functioning and working well, and things haven't, gotten torn apart or fallen, into disarray or decay or whatever that is. Just make sure that those things are in order and they're well functioning and the pattern is working, which is what that 18 is about. And then that will give us a stable base that we can then explore and expand into new possibilities that the 17 is going to be lighting up for us, as the sun is radiating in that 17. And as I said, we're shifting into this really logical, potentially gnarly transit on Saturday. But you know what? I'm going to invite you to bring this heart energy, which is so strong in the transit we're in right now, and will be in through the rest of the week. Bring that heart energy into the next transit. Like really kind of bring that in and be like, okay, I'm going to be in this empowered heart state as I am now working with my logic circuit. Because, like I said, logic is not bad or wrong. It's just that we've been kind of over-conditioned into it, and we've been taught that it is the primary and maybe even the only way of really knowing, but it's only one of 3 ways of knowing in the human design chart. Just remember, it's just one of 3. So we want to be able to balance it out with different kinds of intelligences. And absolutely, the heart is an incredibly intelligent aspect of our human design system and, of our physiology and all that. We could go into a lot of depth about that. And I even have a whole playlist about the G Center, so you can go check that out if you want. So tomorrow, on March 21st, for the Equinox, I'm going to do a special event inside of the Becoming Sovereign Virtual Retreat Center, which is my online community, and I invite you to come and participate. It will be recorded if you watch this video later, or you can't make it tomorrow, but I'm going to do it tomorrow on the 21st on the Equinox, and we're going to be welcoming in Mars, my ruling planet. And we're going to talk about how we can elevate the energy of Mars really into the spiritual warrior and not the god of war, which is, kind of his dysfunctional, like shadow aspect, that toxic masculinity, right? Which is not men, right? It's toxic masculinity, which women can definitely assert as well. So we don't want that toxic masculinity. That's like the god of war. What we want is we want the spiritual warrior. And so we're welcoming in Mars tomorrow with the equinox and bringing in the energy of Aries. And so I invite you to come and participate with me. If you can't do it live, like I said, it'll be recorded. We'll do a special Kriya practice also out of Kundalini Yoga that'll help you move energy and help to uplift your spirit and to open your heart, build your prana, and help you to really connect with the unified field, or the great cosmic womb, as we call it in yoga. And from there, you will have much more ability to command your life. Okay, I hope I'll see you there. Many blessings. Much love.